banner advertising, then it didn't work, and then change it. But like, let's call the industry out and see what happens. And so it's stuff like that where I try and use things that are relevant to the industry I serve with my own perspective. And what happens, hopefully, as an aggregate over time, is people say, we should maybe work with those guys or call them. But it's not because, like, you know, if I polled this room and said, what services does Twist Image offer, I bet you would all get it wrong. Because your first thing would be like, oh, you can probably use social media, and that's like a fraction of what we do. Because I don't talk about myself, but people who are interested and learning and trying to figure out the space, call, they get the presentation, they get it. So it's just stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. Actually, it's a few points. I find that you reach a level in social media, and I believe in social media 100% because it comes from that. But now, as a business owner, I reach a point where I'm overwhelmed because I'm trying to manage.
Yeah.
And so, at one point, I decided, okay, Maddie, stop doing the social media, hire somebody, let that person take care of you. But then what happened was we lost authenticity. So then I went to New York. I met with this business coach, and he goes, "Now you're at a level where you have to make a decision. Are you building a brand, which is me, Maddie, or are you building a company? You have to make a choice because you're not going to be able to manage both at the same time. It does become overwhelming." So my question to you is, what do people at my stage do? Like, are they still going to have to, you know, feed their followers and continue and be authentic, or is there a line that we have to stop?
So I don't agree with the business coach, and I'll tell you why. I think as a business owner, especially in your, like, because I know you, Matt, and where you're at, you have no choice but to be spending a ton of time in that channel. Why? Because what you hear from there is what people are looking for. There are business leads, there's conversations about your industry, there's just knowledge that you as a business owner need. Any great business is built on the idea that it's not one person. So if you look at my office with 100 employees and two offices, what we're trying to do is we create an infrastructure by which I can keep doing what I do and other people do that other stuff. So I think what might have happened is you made the wrong switch, which is you should have done what we were doing and brought other people from the mechanics to running the business and helping you get there. So that's one side of it.
But what happens is when they come in and they just want to deal with you because they know you as a brand.
Because that's not the way the company is set up. And so that first meeting, they realize that it's not like me sitting there going, what's the deal? So let me code that, and then let me go, okay, I got to do the hosting. Hold on, let me start the server. I mean, they come in, it's pretty apparent that I do business development. You know, I'm the sales guy, and I'm the evangelist and PR marketing guy for the industry and the company. And so we create that so that they understand what they're getting prior to it. I don't think people come in and are like, you know, we are a big brand, we only want to speak to Mitch Joel. That's not the way any company really works. People don't go like, I would like to buy an iPhone. Where's Steve Jobs? Right? No, he's got his role, and there are other people that do other mechanics and roles of it. And I think what happens is if you can set it up from the beginning that that's what the model is, it works a lot better. It doesn't mean that's all you can do. I do a lot of other stuff too. But I literally created an environment with my 3 business partners where I don't own anything in the business. Like I don't own a pillar, or I do what I do, which is business development, and I'm called in when the clients exist to do strategy and help with ideation and stuff like that. But I'm, again, one of many now. At the beginning, it was the same thing. It was like there's a vision for where this company is going. That's my role. We have other people who do those other things, and most clients know you're not going to do everything and anything. But I got to tell you, as knowing the audience in this room, if you guys are like, oh, who has the time for this? You're dead. Like you're dead in the water. Because I can give you countless examples of small 1, 3, 4, 5 people shops. They spend so much time listening and offering their services to those who need it that it's just a huge opportunity not to be missed. As the owner of a company, you have a couple of roles. One is understanding your industry, understanding who's looking for you, listening to your customers, and getting new customers. If you can't do that by using tools like the Twitter search and stuff like that, then what are you doing? I get tough on people. I also the same answer, because the question is usually, who has the time for this? You suck as an entrepreneur if you don't have the time to listen to what you need to do to grow your business. You're just terrible.
Sorry, Mitch. I'm going to jump in real quick. I know at the back we're having a bit of a hard time
That's why
hearing.
I told them to come over.
Yeah, they're welcome to come in. Yes, it's a bar floor. It's a little bit dirty, whatever. But what we will do is, for at least the questions coming from the audience, maybe just give me a quick heads up. I'll pass off the microphone so that at least from there, anyone that wants to chime in from the back or from anywhere can speak up and do it that way. I think Mitch is fine without the mic, Dave.
Yeah, there's room for two on my lap.
Yeah, we can fill in here. I mean, it's up to you guys. So I just want to make sure everyone's participating and can hear. So, there's a question back here. Okay.
Do you understand?
Sure.
It's common because what this man just said is a preoccupation most of the people embracing social media face is the fact that we were raised as to listen, to capture, but we were not raised as to share and communicate. And very few of us have any training or learning experience in terms of communicating information and knowledge. And that's where most of us just freeze in front of social media because we just say to ourselves, I don't know how to share about my knowledge. I don't have the tools or the experience. And I think that one of the things that we need to learn is that it's not magic. First of all, there's nothing magic about it. And it's about also using the other tools because everybody really understands the fact that there are tools to share information, but very few understand that there are tools to facilitate the capture of information that is relevant to each of us in our own fields and that we can assess that information and share it back. And that is the gap that is often missed in most of our conversation is, are we trained to capture more efficiently and much more quicker the information that is relevant to our expertise? And do we have the knowledge also and the ability to, and the experience to share that information? Because the whole point, like I said always, there's no point about sharing what you're doing with your kids unless it's really important for you because it has a meaning in what you do in your daily life. But for the rest, for sure I'm not interested in knowing that your kids are going to the hockey game. I couldn't care less about that. But the whole point of you being able tomorrow to start to assess on a daily basis information that is relevant to the community you want to reach or the passion you want to share, that is another business. And these are new skills that most of us didn't learn. I did learn about it, but most of the people in my company did not. So I have to share with them those skills to learn how to share their information. But because they were not there, they learned to capture, to listen.
But yeah, this is like Clue Train Manifesto 101. It's like, you know, if you read that book, what it says on every page, it's just constantly beating you in the face, is that, you know, speak to people like you do when you see them in person. Mm-hmm. That's what it basically is. And you're right, in school, we sort of train through this formality of how communications is, but that's actually not how communications is. Mm-hmm. This is. Right? And so what'll happen is people will be on Twitter and be like, Mitch sat there with his legs folded or whatever, but this is how we would talk if we were hanging out. And I want to talk if we're hanging out. I don't want to do a formal presentation. You know, who here would be afraid to speak publicly? Most people. It's common, right? The reason people are afraid to speak publicly is it is innately against human nature. Mm-hmm. It goes back to the prehistoric man. It's not a common, normal thing to get up and do that. What is common is to do this, just to have a conversation back and forth and share ideas and do things. And so that's one part. The other part is, I'm not sure I agree, and maybe I just misunderstood, is you know, talking about, let's say, family as an example. I think that's a highly powerful communication skill to do. And I'll give you a true story. I got stuck in North Bay yesterday. My flight got canceled. And trying to think about renting a car, because North Bay sounds very far, right? It's actually only a 6-hour drive from Montreal, so I figured I'll drive home. And so I'm standing in line with Julian Smith. Do you guys know Julian? Yeah.